What's going on, everybody? Chase with iDub Hockey here with Rob from Warrior Hockey at your HQ in Detroit, Michigan, with the super exciting Covert QR6 Pro line in front of us. Now, before we start talking about tech and spec, really excited what we're gonna find this year. We always gotta talk about what style of player and what style of shooter Covert's built for.
Covert for us, we actually really refer to it as the shooter stick. Everything about Covert is designed to make your shot better. We really target more of that finesse player. It's all about quick release, getting the puck in tight, getting it off your stick as quickly as possible. Tends to be the player that really gravitates towards Covert, but really for us, like I said, we consider it a shooter stick. It's designed to make your shot better.
And let's talk about the QR6 Pro. I've always been such a big fan of Covert. The release is effortless and deadly quick, and it feels like after giving it a good test, you elevated it this year. So I'm guessing that has to do with the edge blade. What was the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, so the edge blade is something that's been a lot of years in the making for us, really. It's something that we've started iterating with probably 10 years ago. It's taken a lot of time to dial in really the perfect angle and design on it. But now with this blade design, yeah, we've improved shots roughly 10% in what we've seen in our testing with the way the edge blade interacts with the edge taper and the rest of the stick. So it's a pretty incredible feature that we've added to it.
And it's pretty wild when I first taped it up and I'm putting on the final touches, it's something you feel too. So you pick it up, check it out the first time. It's something you definitely visually see. Just like what I really like about the QR Edge outside of the performance, it's something that you visually feel and get accustomed to. But for that player that maybe hasn't experienced the edge taper, now with that edge blade, what are they gonna experience? What makes that unique to the market?
Yeah, so with us, this combination of the edge blade going into the edge taper, what it does is it really engages with the ice quicker. It creates a little bit of extra friction in that area, so it grabs a little bit, which engages the blade, engages the flex profile. So the stick loads a lot easier, which then allows it to release even quicker than it ever has before.
And so I'm guessing working with the taper, working with the blade, is that signature construction process and those super elite materials you're using throughout the 6 Pro, and you really keep it refined just to the 6 Pro. So again, for maybe that player that isn't well-versed in Warrior technology, you know, what makes that so special?
Yeah, so for us, we focus a lot on the materials, and not just the materials, but the way we build our hockey sticks. We put a lot of time and effort into that and analyzing ways that we can improve it. And so this year with QR6 Pro, we've actually added a step in our process in how we build the sticks, where the stick actually sits in the mold cold for a period of time. It allows us to use less materials. We get a more consistent build on it. And so we're able to use less materials without sacrificing balance or durability in the hockey stick.
Now, as we all know, hockey is, definitely lends itself to being susceptible to style. And there's no shortage of style on this stick, to a big departure from, that signature orange and blue we've seen for a long time. What was the inspiration? What was the thought process there?
Yeah, so for us, we really, with some of this revolutionary technology we were bringing to it, we really wanted to revolutionize the graphic of the stick too and put a huge departure from what you're used to seeing. We've been doing orange and blue for quite a few generations of Covert sticks. We now have, we call it spectrum foil. It's kind of this chameleon paint job you see on the underside of the taper, through the Warrior word mark on the side there in the taper area. I say it a lot, the movement really is the graphic. The more the stick moves around, it changes colors. It goes everywhere from green to orange to purple and really everything in between. And it's something that we're really stoked on how it turned out. It's so flashy on ice. It's even flashier in person. And like I said, the more you move it, the more it changes and you see a different color every single time.
And then last but not least, the other thing I really liked is how well balanced it feels in my hands. That's such an important thing with these super light hockey sticks. It's not just about the weight you see on the scale, it's how it feels in the hands. So talk about weight before we move on to the QR6.
For sure, weight's obviously a huge part in hockey sticks. We continue to try to push the boundaries of how light we can make a stick. QR6 Pro comes in right around 360 grams at that 62-inch senior level. Super lightweight, it's a weight reduction from its predecessor. To your point, in doing that, we don't want to sacrifice the balance. To me, that's maybe the biggest feature in a hockey stick, and the playability and how it feels in your hands. It's not, like you said, what it is on the scale, but it's how it feels when you're playing. And a big piece with this, and I mentioned it earlier with our improved construction process, yeah, we've reduced the weight, and that's a really important feature, but we really stand behind the way we build our sticks, and that's where we have our 60-day warranty on the QR6 Pro. So it's really standing behind the way we build our sticks, the materials we use in the sticks, that we feel confident that it's gonna last you a long time on ice.
Now, speaking of lasting a long time, obviously you're standing behind the QR6 Pro, but we really see so much great durability out of the QR6, that second price point. I feel like over the years, this has become such a competitive market because, not everyone can afford that top end stick, but you want that top end technology, those top end features. So it looks great, but it's gonna perform great too. And what are a couple of things that really stand out to you on this QR6?
Yeah, so with the QR6, I think you hit it right on the head. It is still an incredibly elite hockey stick. It's made for a high performance player. It's lightweight. It doesn't have the edge blade, but the internals, the way the blade is built inside is really the same as the high end stick. We want to bring that high performance features to a more approachable price. I mean, you hit it right on the head. Not everybody's looking to spend that top dollar. So you're still gonna get that edge taper design, so you get that unbelievably quick release on it. And with that design, it still has that strength in terms of torsional strength, so it's not gonna twist on slap shots and things like that. You won't get that deflection. It's still really lightweight. Again, 62 inches, it's about 400 grams. We're not that many years removed from where that was the top price point stick in everybody's family. So still bringing a really lightweight, high-end construction and performance to that second price point.
So now as we move into the performance level models here with the QR6T as well as the QR6 Rev, this is really geared for that performance level player, looking to play some competitive hockey and really trying to find some great value for their money here. So what are a couple of things that we find on both of these price points that you're really proud of?
With both of these, I think, one of the things that really stands out, I talked about it on the QR6 Pro, but the way we build our sticks, whether it's at the top price point or down more towards these value products with a Rev or a T, we still build the stick the same way. They get a little bit heavier, but the properties stay the same. So we're still incredibly focused on having a very well-balanced product, even though the stick might be a little bit heavier. With the QR6T at 63 inches, it's a 435 gram stick. Again, an incredibly lightweight stick for where it sits in the marketplace. Unidirectional carbon fiber shaft with a 12K weave on the blade. There's still a lot of performance here. You're still getting the edge taper, so you're still getting an unbelievably quick release on your shots. But it also, for the player that's using that QR6T, very often, it's a player that's on the ice a lot. It's a high school player, a team player, and so it's built to take a beating and really kind of stand up to that sort of thing. So it's an unbelievable value for what it is, and the performance is huge. And then when you look to the Rev, story's kind of similar, 450 grams on that stick, unidirectional carbon fiber shaft, uni blade on it. So still a lot of value. It's still all material that you're seeing through the graphic. It's not a paint job or anything like that. The internals of the blade are just like the T or just like the QR6. You're still getting a lot of high performance features there, the edge taper. I mean, it's really got it all, just a little bit heavier of a stick, and so the price comes down a little bit.
And then if you're at home and you want to watch a player or two on the TV that exemplifies what it means to be a Covert player, or a couple names you could drop.
Yeah, so some of our key Covert guys, we're looking at like a Tyler Toffoli, Elias Lindholm, a Jake Gensel, even someone like an Eric Carlson on the back end there. So really covering a lot of ground with a Covert stick.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent list there, Rob.
Yeah.
Well, as always, thanks so much for having us out here and walking us through the exciting new Covert line.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you.
And for you at home that want to check out all of the products Ice Warehouse carries from Warrior Hockey, make sure you head over to icewarehouse.com.